change the way the rest of you looked at the way that you went around the golf course in terms of scoring opportunities?
Well, I'm not sure that it changed everybody's idea of how to attack a golf course, because not many players could do it like Arnold. He made a lot of birdies, made a lot of bogeys, double bogeys and everything. You know, his scoring average was not any better than most of the guys, but it just seemed like he shot more lower rounds. And in that way, it changed things a little. But I don't really think it affected everybody's game very much.
Why is no one immune to Arnold's charisma?
Boy, if we knew the answer to that, we'd go out and buy it right now, wouldn't we?
Yes, sir.
I think I'd go back to what I said earlier about looking at a TV camera. He looks everybody in the eye. He has tremendous rapport with galleries. I mean, everybody thinks he's looking right at him. Sometimes he is. And it's just his overall personality, which is, you know, Mr. America. Not big time, not big city America, America, rural America, peaceful America, old-time America. And a kid that takes chances. And it's all of those things wrapped up. It's indefinable, really, Peter.
Don't you get the sense that Arnold's the only one who doesn't know on some level that he's Arnold Palmer? You know, there's a delicious modesty about him, and I always get the sense, and I'm wondering if you do, that he's the only one who's not taken by him.
I think that's very true. And one of Arnold's great qualities is he had time for everybody. No matter how much he was winning or what tournament he was leading or anything, he would hang around and take care of the people that wanted to talk to him, that wanted him to sign autographs or whatever. And that was one of the things that made Arnold such a great guy and made him so loved by everybody.
Let's let our viewers participate a little bit more. We have Lee in Iowa. How are you tonight, Lee?
Real good.
Good to have you with us. What's on your mind?
I'd just like to ask how much of, as far as golf, did Palmer put in money perspective as far as TV and endorsements? And that's my question.
Well, Arnold, I guess, was the first one to really get big endorsements. International Management Group, Mark McCormick, did a tremendous job with Arnold. Of course, Arnold created a lot of it, but I don't know if he'd have gone quite as far as he did without international management. They did a great job with him, and he brought a lot of people to them that were playing golf and were in other sports. So not only did they help him, but he helped them. But Arnold was the guy that broke the mold as far as endorsements in golf go.
Even Michael Jordan knows him a debt of gratitude, doesn't he?
Every athlete owes Arnold and Mark McCormick together, but they needed each other, I think.
When Jack came along, and came along so early after Arnold had assumed the throne as the king, do you think, Jack, that Arnold's been given enough credit for the way that he handled it? No excuses, no moaning, no nonsense. It just made him work harder.
Yeah, I think Arnold's popularity is going to attest to that. He never lost his popularity. And I think in some of that's due to the way he handled his adversity, I guess, of not being king of the hill all the time anymore.
What was your reaction to that as a player at the time, Bob?
I thought he did a great job. I happened to be playing within the last 36 holes at Oakmont when he ended up losing the playoff of the U.S. Open to Nicklaus. And, of course, I'd say 95% of the players and 100% of the gallery in the Pittsburgh area were rooting for Arnold. And it was really a shock, I think, to everybody to see him kind of kick the tournament away. I think that's one Open that he should have won so easily. He three-putted 4 or 5 times the last round and still had about a 12-footer of the last hole to win and then lost in the playoff. And that was sort of the time that Jack took charge. But Arnold, I don't think, ever was bitter about it. He never told me or told anybody else that he was bitter about it. I thought he handled it beautifully, as he did most things. But of course, I think it was a kind of a shock to his system, but he got used to it.
As great a rivals as they were, Jack, do you think that people are surprised to find out how many practice rounds the two of them played together so they could beat each other's brains out?
I don't think there's... it's one of the parts of golf we don't report enough on these practice rounds and the great stuff that goes on in them. And I think that's a very nice thing with Arnold and Jack that they do that. It's very nice. At the Masters or any other place, you know, it's great stuff.
We're going to take a very short break, and we will be right back. Don't go away.
Sam 2000 will improve your overall swing and reduce your handicap with just 20 minutes of practice a day. Only the Sam 2000 is designed, engineered, tested, and custom-made to give you the perfect golf swing. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, the Sam 2000 is designed to dramatically improve your golf swing by working on the takeaway, the backswing, and the follow-through. The Sam 2000 is the only teaching aid on the market to improve on all of these areas. With continued use on the Sam 2000, you will cut your handicap in half, lower your score, and hit straighter tee shots. The Sam 2000 is easy to install and can be easily stored, and is durable enough to stand any weather condition. Repetition and muscle memory are the keys to a good golf swing. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. So call today and make the perfect golf swing permanent in your game. Call 1-800-317-1772. Call today for your free video analysis.
Perfect. Asper. Introducing AT&T 5-cent weekends. Perfect. Perfect. No. Perfect. Now calls from home on weekends anytime, anywhere are just 5 cents a minute. Perfect. So get comfy, because weekends have never been better.
I take my calling very seriously.
To get 5-cent weekends, call now to enroll.
Hello?
Catch the European...
Tony in Texas, what do you want to kick around with the fellas?
Hi, Peter. It's such a pleasure to be on your show tonight.
Well, it's nice to have you with us.
I've followed Mr. Palmer ever since 1957. I think it was the year he won the Houston Open here, and never had the opportunity to really see him in person until he played his last tournament here at the Doug Sanders tournament in Deerwood. And so my son and I got out Saturday, and we followed him all day, and I noticed up on the first tee, kind of looked right in my face and kind of nodded, and I smiled and nodded back at him. And throughout the whole round, the man is continuously looking at the people that are following him. And the other golfers were up on the greens, and they were paying attention to what they were doing, and I know he was too, but he continually looked out into the group of people. And after the round was over, it was hot, and he was sweaty, and there must have been 50 to 100 people waiting for him to sign autograph, whatever they had brought to the course. And this lady walked up and said, "Oh, sir, if you'll just let me loan a pen from me, I want to get Mr. Palmer to sign this picture I have." And Arnie looked up. He was signing somebody else's thing, and he looked up and he said, "Well, I don't know why I'd want to sign this for you. You didn't follow me today." And she said, "Well, Mr. Palmer, I still want you to sign this." And I thought it was amazing that he really knew that she didn't follow him, because it's like he knew everybody out there, and I know he couldn't tell everybody, but it was amazing how the man continuously looked at people and made eye contact, and you felt so good about it. And I think that's one of the things that people really love and still do about Mr. Palmer, is the fact that he makes contact with people. It's like you're a personal friend of his, although you've never even seen him before.
Counting the house and making everybody feel like an old friend just with a look.
That's right. He made you think that he was looking at you. And that's quite a thing. That's a great thing to be able to do.
Especially when there's 10,000 people lining each hole and he's giving 10,000 individual "you are my buddy" looks.
That's right.
Let's talk to Dave in Florida. Hello, Dave.
Yeah, how you doing tonight?
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, my question's for Bob. I played college golf about 30 years ago in San Antonio, and our team at that time played the two courses, Pecan Valley and Brackenridge Park. So my question for you is, I remember Brack Park is having some par fours that even I could reach. This was 30 years ago. So I can imagine, what Arnie did. Were you ever paired with Arnie in either Brack Park or Pecan Valley, but especially Brack Park? And how did he attack the short course? And what is your favorite memory of being in a tournament paired with Arnie, especially at Brack Park, if you have one?
Well,
thanks a lot.
Arnold at Brackenridge Park, he took a shot at everything. He really did. There were some easy par fives, and you could really get it going there if you could conquer the weather. The course was never in great shape or anything like that, but it was a fun golf course to play. You played off the rubber mats, and it was a little something different. And he was tough there. He was of course, Suchak was a little tougher, but when he set the record. But I played one round with Arnold at Pecan Valley in the PGA when he almost won, and that's the one PGA that really got away from him. I thought that he should have won the tournament. Arnold has had great success, though, in any kind of golf course he plays. It's not only the short ones, the ones where he can drive par fours or anything. He played the hard courses very well, the open courses, and he just had a great talent. And people say, well, he didn't make every putt, but he made an awful lot of them, believe me. And you got to put him right up there with the great putters under pressure that ever played the game.
He made the recovery shot a sort of an art form, didn't he, Jack?
Oh, my goodness, yes. All you have to do is go and look at that plaque they put up at Royal Lytham where he made that shot, and you have to shake your head. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Bob, you talked about how many Opens Arnold was competitive at, and he could have won conceivably 10 Opens if we really sit down and go through them together. You can't contend in that many Opens if you're not putting the ball in play off the tee. There was a time in his prime when he was a very long and straight driver. What were the other strengths of his game?
Well, as I said, he was a good putter. I didn't think he was ever really good around the greens. I mean, that wasn't an outstanding part of his game. His iron play was very good. He always had a little problem getting the long irons up in the air, and when the greens got real hard on a really long golf course, he probably wasn't quite as good as Nicklaus or some of the guys that could hit it so high in the air, but Arnold had a lot of great things about his game. As you said, his driving was wonderful, but the imagination and his concentration and everything, even though he looked at the gallery a lot, he could really concentrate when he had to.
We'll take a very short break, and we will be right back. Don't go away.
At Cigna, we care about people who have babies. Companies that make steel. And about companies that make bread. We care about and about all that makes life great, or possible, or just better. At Cigna, we care because it is our business to care. But we also care because
Celebrate with us the Tight Lies Great Bag Giveaway. Purchase any 2 of our 7 Tight Lies lofts, and we'll give you our impeccably crafted high-tech Adams custom stand bag free. With over 1 million clubs sold, what better way to say thank you to all of our golfing customers for making Tight Lies the #1 fairway wood in America. 7 deadly precise lofts, 1 great bag, 1 incredible promotion. Don't miss out.
November on the Golf Channel. Tournament action tees off with 6 worldwide events, including the European Tour's Volvo Masters and the MasterCard PGA Championship.
Plus, the pressure is on for future tour hopefuls at the PGA Tour Q School. Catch Golf Central all month for the latest scores and highlights. Leaderboard Report wraps up 98 with a year-end stats review. And European Tour Weekly sums up the year in golf across the Atlantic. It's all this November on the Golf Channel. We're talking golf.
You know, that picture of Arnie and Jack in the wig, they still argue about who found the wig and who had it on and who asked who to dance. They haven't agreed about that either.
I think that was at the jam session at the Bob Hope.
What did it mean, Bob, in 1960 when Arnold went over to play in the British Open? What did it mean to the major championships rising again as a group of four? And what did it mean to the British Open specifically and the American players who began to follow Arnold over there?
Well, I think it was the rebirth of the British Open. The British Open had gone through some tough times. You know, we had a few players go over there. Snead went over there once and won, but it was a pretty tough trip in those days to go. The money wasn't very much, and it meant that you had to actually miss 2 or 3 tournaments on the U.S. tour, so not too many guys won. But when the U.S. Open champion decided to go over there, and also the Masters champion, it was a tremendous boost for the tournament. Arnold went over there. He became loved by the British people, and he kept going back, and he convinced other fellows to go. If it hadn't been for Arnold going over there, I think it might have been another 8 or 10 years before everybody started going over there like they did.
Anything to add to that, Jack?
No, I think that's absolutely true. We had, it was really in the doldrums, the oldest of our tournaments, our championships. And Arnold almost single-handedly did it. And the example he set by going over there and drew the others. And I think he actually talked to a lot of players going over, didn't he?
He sure did.
Yeah. So I think the RNA owes Arnold a great debt, too.
Let's go ahead and see what Ron in North Carolina wants to kick around. Hello, Ron.
Hi, Peter. Hi, Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Rosburg. It's a great honor to talk with you guys tonight.
Nice to be with you.
Okay. I just wanted, I'm, again, from North Carolina, as you see, and I just want to talk a few seconds here about Arnold's career at Wake Forest. I've heard the gentleman speaking earlier about Buddy Worsham, and my girlfriend's father was in school with Arnold at Wake Forest, and I was looking through a couple of his annuals a few years ago, and what the gentleman said about Mr. Worsham I thought was very interesting because I think they were very good friends. I also wanted to mention that team with Dick Titty and Jim Flick. You know, Jim Flick was a basketball player there also, and I don't know if you guys want to comment on that or not. But anyway, what I really want to tell you about was my girlfriend's mother. She was a standard bearer at the GGO many years ago, and was just absolutely astounded when Arnold she found out she was picked to be the standard bearer for Arnold's group. And it was one of her greatest thrills in golf, and she plays to this day, and she loves the game, and today's her birthday, and I kind of doing this as a birthday present for her, so I think she'll enjoy that. But she was real excited about having that, and you know, again, that's another person that he's touched in many lives, and I just wanted, again, if you could speak about how wonderful a gentleman he is, not only to you know, golfers and people as a whole, but what he's done for just the entire world, and not only golf. I mean, from everything from you know, course design. So if you can, I would appreciate that. And her name is Gabe Bryan. I just want to wish her a happy birthday today.
And from all of us.
Well, she definitely ought to watch the next 2 hours then, because she's going to really see a great program, and I think that this documentary will probably tell it a lot better than Jack and I can tell it about what Arnold has done for the game and what a great fellow he is.
We know that Jim Flick was in the same suite with Arnold, but shared a bedroom with another fellow who also passed away the same night that Buddy died. And then Jim and Arnold moved in together, and still, and now it's almost 50 years later, still call each other roomie.
I think we could have done without that little bit of information, don't you, Robert?
I thought you would have been delighted to hear that. Jeff in Virginia.
Well, actually, my question goes to Jack Whitaker. Peter, even though you do some great commentary, Jack, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your feelings with Arnold Palmer, at 18th at Oakmont and the feelings that were going on there, and also crossing the bridge at St. Andrews in his last British Open, and your feelings and how you would do a commentary on that.
Well, I never saw the one at Oakmont. Bob was there, but I would imagine that there was a lot of turmoil on both of their stomachs. It was a marvelous time for Jack, and of course a little heartbreak time for Arnold. There'd have been plenty of food there to do an essay and a commentary. I did see Arnold at St. Andrews, and it was overwhelming, but not quite as overwhelming as it was at Oakmont when on Friday, he missed the cut in his last Open ever. That was perhaps the most emotional day on a golf course I've ever seen. And the very hardened golf writers who don't who look at sentiment as something to be absolutely aboard were all choking up, and so was Arnold. Arnold choked up on television, and he barely got through his press conference afterward. That needed no commentary. We had Arnold himself to do it. But that one at Oakmont with Jack and Arnold would have been good food for thought.
We're going to take a very short break, and as we leave you for a moment, we want to show you the cover of Jack Whitaker's new book, Preferred Lies and Other Tales. He writes just as well as he speaks. Pick up a copy. We'll be right back.
Introducing AT&T 5-cent weekends.
Perfect. Perfect. No. Perfect.
Now calls from home on weekends anytime, anywhere are just 5 cents a minute.
Perfect.
So get comfy, because weekends have never been better.
I take my calling very seriously.
To get 5-cent weekends, call now to enroll.
Hello? I got my start playing golf, driving a tractor. This old tractor and I are ready.
For more than 20 years, Arnold Palmer has been talking about quality Pennzoil and how it's kept his old tractor running. Now you can own this collectible, an authentic 1/12 scale model of Arnie's famous tractor for only $19.95. To order, call 888-298-4794. That's 888-298-4794. This is a great gift for golfers. Fun for kids, too.
We decided to get a PC.
We?
He was worried about the cost. Now he's just worried about his swing.
When you call 1-800-GATEWAY, we'll set you up with your wear, an affordable new way to own the latest technology. For just $59.95 a month, we can custom build you a PC with an Intel Pentium 2 processor, color printer, DVD drive, and internet access.
Let's email the kids our scores.
Call us, and let's talk about your wear from Gateway.
Ginkgoba has given me a spark. I'm like a firecracker now.
Here's what real people think about Ginkgoba.
It certainly has improved my recollection of the details.
I remember phone numbers. I remember formulas.
I think it helped me focus better, helped me concentrate.
I think I've taken some of the lead out.
Clinical evidence shows the natural supplement Ginkgoba safely increases the flow of oxygen to the brain, sharpening concentration, mental focus, even helping to improve your memory.
My attention span has improved.
It just made me sharper.
Think better. Think Ginkgoba.
That picture was Arnold and his father, Deacon. Tyler in Ohio, what do you want to talk about?
See, I met you in Elyria, and you told the story of the first time you played golf with Arnie. Could you tell that?
I'll give you the very short version. It's the most nervous I ever was. It was my second day of work, and that's a good way to start your job. I hit every ball pretty much along the ground or hooked it horribly, and Arnold stands 20 yards ahead of you in the middle of the fairway waiting for you to hit your shot, and thinks that you're just going to hit it over his head to wherever you need to hit it. So you sort of look to the left and you look to the right and you try to figure out a way to hit a golf shot that might actually work. The only good one that I hit was the 3-iron that I put through the windshield of his cart. The ball went about 70 yards after it went through the windshield. I wanted to crawl under the earth, and thankfully Arnold started to giggle, and since it was my second day at work, I just asked him if he could send me the bill in a couple of weeks after my first paycheck. And so that was Arnold's first look at my game. Let's go ahead and talk to who else have we got there? Jack in Virginia. Let's talk to you. How are you, sir?
Hello.
Hello, Jack.
Yeah, Bob, this is Jack Bell, an old friend of yours.
Absolutely, Jack. How are you?
I knew you when you were assistant pro with Al Demerit at Edgewater.
Those were great days, Al.
Yeah, what I'm
With
calling
Al.
about is you knew Tom Mady, who was captain of the Notre Dame golf team, and he made the statement one time that Arnold and him were good friends in college, and Bob used to beat Arnold pretty good at times. But anyway, Bob said to Arnold, he said, look, when we're through school, why don't we go on a tour together and we'll split? And Arnold says, I should split with you? And that's a true story. I was just wondering if you knew about that.
Well, there are a lot of stories like that, Jack. That probably did happen. You know, I would think a lot of people would have liked to split with Arnold. I'm sure Bob wasn't the only one, but Arnold, he knew he could beat everybody, and he'd just go out there and give it everything he had all the time, and come what may. If he won, he won. But he played to win, even though the money was tough out there. There wasn't a whole lot of money to play for, but he wasn't worried about finishing 6th or 7th or anything like that. If he thought he had a chance to win, he'd take a shot at it. And I think that's what endeared him to all the people that watched the game.
How shocking is it in retrospect, Jack, to think that Arnold's last major championship was at the age of 34 at the 64 Masters, despite the fact that he would contend in another majors subsequently?
Well, I think that's another indication of how popular and how much a hold he has on America's heart, that he lasted without winning. You know, they're going to say Tiger hasn't won a major now. You know, they're going to be on his back, but they never got on Arnold's back because Arnold, I don't know, Arnold is just Arnold. And Arnold is aged gracefully, too. He is really, I think, aged gracefully. I was up at the Shark Shootout one year. I was down on the practice tee talking to him. And I got back up to the clubhouse, and a young friend came over. He said, geez, you were talking about, what were you talking about? I said, hearing aids. So we were discussing hearing aids.
We didn't know that, did we, Bob?
See, but Arnold wears a hearing aid, and nobody thinks anything of it. He is without, as you mentioned before, he doesn't play Arnold Palmer. He is Arnold Palmer. And, I mean, he's been quite remarkable, along with Muhammad Ali and a couple others in this whole last half of the 20th century.
Have you ever known anybody who loves golf as much as Arnold loves golf? And I mean everything about it, from unwrapping his grips as he walks around the golf course and rewrapping them, to the 40 clubs that he'll have in his bag in a practice round, to just being available at first light for the first tee.
He is really amazing. His life is golf. Although, you know, he can talk about other sports, too, and he can talk about other things that have to do with a lot more than golf. Arnold is not just a golf dummy, believe me. Arnold is a very intelligent man, but he does have a penchant for changing the grips, like you say. He'll come out on the practice tee still at the senior tour, 2 sets of irons, 4 or 5 drivers, a couple 3-putters. I kind of feel sorry for his caddies through the years. You know, they've carried a lot of golf clubs.
Let's see what Dave in California wants to ask the two of you. Go ahead, Dave. Are you there? Dave in California?
No, I'm Steve in California.
Oh, hello, Steve in California.
Yeah, my question was, since I started playing golf in 1960, I was able to see Arnold, and he was the man. And my question is do you think Arnold would have been as challenging if it hadn't been for Jack Nicklaus? And who's Tiger Woods going to have to compare to in his tour?
Well, the first question, Arnold was there quite a while before Jack showed up. I mean, everybody knew Jack was a good amateur player, but Arnold had already won, a couple, 3 majors before Jack turned pro. So I think Jack elevated Arnold's game, and Arnold elevated Jack's game. But you go to Tiger Woods, I'll tell you, there are a lot of good young players out there. It isn't only Tiger Woods. You have David Duval. You have this kid from Spain, this amateur Sergio Garcia, who's going to be a tremendous player. You've got Lee Westwood from England. You've got them coming from everywhere. Golf has gotten to be a game for all countries, and I think it's the best thing that ever happened. And perhaps these world events that they're fitting into the regular PGA Tour schedule will show a lot of people that only the good players aren't in the United States. The Ryder Cup has already shown that. The President's Cup shows that. But I think these world events are really a pretty good idea, and I think that they're going to create a tremendous amount of interest in the game all over the world and just help it along in the countries that don't quite have it yet.
And Gary Player says that every one of those players should thank Arnold every time they get $1 for at least 25 cents of that check.
That's true.
We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Golf Talk Live is brought to you by AT&T. It's all within your reach.
Ever hear of knocking? What? You know, I'm just sitting here in my office, writing a few emails, and you walk. Email, desk, office, get it?
Send and receive wireless email from just about anywhere with PageNet two-way.
The Golf Channel presents a world television premiere, the definitive biography of golf legend Arnold Palmer. This documentary examines Palmer's public and private life, from his influences to Arnie's Arnie, to his most prominent memories of Augusta. Share his thrilling victories, heartbreaking defeats, and personal triumphs. Arnold Palmer, Golf's Heart and Soul, premieres tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on the Golf Channel.
You know, when Judy Rankin was here and we were talking about a senior tour for ladies, she said, who wants to watch a bunch of little old ladies play golf? But the thing about Arnold, Jack, is that even though he has passed his prime as a golfer, we would still rather see him go out and shoot 80 than almost anybody else go out and shoot 60. How come?
Well, again, it gets back to Arnold Palmer and who he is and what he is and how he is. He's just one of these people that come along. They come along in entertainment business and they come along in politics occasionally, too occasionally perhaps. They're just people that get your imagination and don't let you go. And I hope we're going to be able to watch Arnold play for quite a while, because our own mortality is involved in this too. It was very sad to see him play in his last U.S. Open and his last British Open, because a long chapter in our life had ended too. But yes, long may the king be there, huh?
And how great is it that we can still watch him? He's playing this week in L.A. on the senior tour.
It's terrific. I know he's got a lot of fans in California, tremendous amount of fans in L.A. They go back to the time he made 12 at Rancho at that one hole, and they put the plaque up there. You know, that one at Birktail where he hit it out of the bush isn't the only plaque that he's had. But, yeah, it's great to see him play. I think people, even though he's shooting 80 maybe, that people love to see every time he makes that birdie.
Thank you guys for being here so much. Thank all of you for being here. We'll see you very soon on Golf Talk Live. Good night, everybody.